the Husqvarna RZ5424 again. Has a leaky hydro gear on this side. It's dripping from the bottom. See that? So that's got to be taken off and find out where the leak is. First thing, taking the wheel off, and then removing this 3/8 bolt and the flathead screw for the parking brake bracket, and removing the tension spring from the idler pulley so that you can remove the belt from the top of the hydro gear. Got the wheel all taken off, the linkage for the parking brake taken off, spring was already undone. Next thing you gotta do, pull this pin and release this bar that disengages the drive system from the back. Pull that out. Remove the two 9/16 support brackets. This one and this one. There is going to be a washer behind here that you don't want to lose. And then two 1/2-inch bolts that bolt it to the frame. They run through to the bottom. There is a bolt I forgot about. It mounts to this bracket. You can either take this 1/2-inch one that runs through it off, or there's a 9/16 one up here that bolts through the motor pan. And after I took off one of these, put a jack under there to support it while I remove the rest of the bolts. One more bolt, one that attaches to the drive lever system, has to be taken out also. Well, there it is. You can see it's been leaking for quite some time. Made a complete mess. Gonna clean it up and see what I can figure out from there. This is the model number. Alright, there it is, all cleaned up. Just sprayed some simple green on there, let it sit for a little bit, and power washed it off. Came pretty clean. I'm gonna let it sit on this cardboard for a little while and wait for an oil spot so I can determine where it's leaking from. I'm assuming it's coming from the edge of this casing somewhere on the bottom. The tools that were used for this: it's a flat blade screwdriver, 3/8, ratchet wrench for the parking brake linkage, 1/2-inch wrench for most of the bolts, 1/2-inch socket, 9/16 socket, and a 3/4-inch socket for the wheel to take that off. Well, I'm waiting for it to drip someplace on this cardboard and let me know where the leak is at. I'm just gonna pop this plug out of here and see how full the fluid is. From what I've found out, it's supposed to be within an inch of the top. It's looking like it's gonna be a lot more than that. I don't know if you can see where that's at. So it's about that far down. So it's not extremely low. These take 20 W50 oil, so I'll have to empty that out if I have to end up tearing the casing apart anyway. Since it's off, might as well change it. Okay, so after letting this thing sit for a few hours, I went around, looked at all the seals. There was no drips on the bottom. So now pretty much just gonna have to put it back in and run it and see where the leak is coming from. Okay, here we are again. I've mowed a couple times. Didn't see any drips coming from anywhere along the bottom edge where the original was. So I did a bunch more research online about these hydro gears, and a lot of it said that they were the input shafts that would start to leak, which is up here below the fan and pulley, and you can see it's all wet inside of there. Couldn't really get my finger in there, but it's definitely, after I cleaned it up, grimy and gross. So I went ahead and ordered a couple of the seals. Let me move these Chevy problems. I got these on Amazon. They were $7 a piece. It's just a little round seal, and just pull off the fan and pulley and pop the seal out and pop the new one in. I'm going to do a video on that, but I'll put the link in the description for those seals.